Alright guys, this is the stock carrier. This is the optional billet carrier. You notice there's quite a bit of difference in these carriers. And if you're going to reuse this stock carrier, you just want to replace these plastic shims in here with the stainless shims that we supply. And it's same with both pieces. Anyway, I'm going to take this out. Remove the snap ring. Slide the pin out. And when you roll this around, you see there's plastic shims in there. And if you're going to retain the stock spider gear, you can install these metal shims by simply removing one and sliding the new shim in place, and it's that easy. But we're going to go ahead and put these spiders in this new carrier, so we're going to install them into this carrier for you. Okay guys, when you remove these spider gears, make sure that that's still there. There's a shim under each spider gear. Just simply drop this spider gear in place. Pick up your side gear, install the shim that we supply. You guys might ought to put some lithium grease on all these parts when you assemble them, some lubricant. Just simply drop it down in there. Take a screwdriver or something, your finger, line that hole up, insert the pin. Do the same with the other spider gear. Drop it in place. Kind of line the hole up. And then reassemble the snap ring. Then the last axle gear goes back in. Of course, check for that shim, make sure it's there. And just simply set it in top, and that's where you'll take this axle gear cap. And if you'll notice, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but these opposing screws in the center are threaded. The rest of these holes are just drilled. These threaded holes are for jacking purposes only, for removing this piece, because this piece gets pressed in by these 12 bolts that's in here. And this thing will install with this recess place over the spider gear, the raised surface to the top of the differential. Of course, you just line these notches up with the holes in that diff, or the carrier rather, and then install these 12 bolts. Okay guys, I got all these screws in there. These screws are tiny, and when you tighten them up, palm that ratchet and don't over tighten them. And when you tighten them, go 3/4, a half turn, and keep working it around until you get it pulled down, because if you try to just run them down, you could strip it out. But anyway, we've got those on, and be sure and put blue Loctite on these little bolts here. Anyway, after you get it in there, you'll notice they spin freely. And unlike the stock set, when you grab that stock set out of the box, that top gear wiggles quite a bit. There is absolutely no movement in these gears now. They're shimmed properly, because the shimming we use behind this cone gear is a little thicker than the plastic. But anyway, that completes that. Alright guys, after you get these spider gears installed, you want to grab these other pieces. Grab the other half of this carrier. You want to grab that, the locking gear. This washer goes underneath it. And the internal locking gear, where did I set it? Here it is. We saved the other piece earlier. And it's pretty simple. Lay that there. Drop the gear in place. Drop the locking gear over it. That's simple. take your other piece, drop it on there, line your holes up. When you flip it over, if you'll notice there's two machine places here, and that is for those stock aluminum bolts if you're going to reuse the factory carrier. And there's provisions in this half carrier in the kit for that. Now we're going to put our ring gear on. If you're real gentle with this, it will slide right on. Like so. If you force it, it'll try to bind up. Flip this thing over after you get it done. Of course, you're going to want to line all your holes up. When you install these bolts, be sure and use a red Loctite. Alright guys, as you can see, I got all the ring gear bolts in. And be sure and put red Loctite on these bolts. Red Loctite only. And they torque down to 32 foot-pounds. And I don't know if I mentioned a while ago, the new carrier that we supply is not threaded for that bolt. So you won't be using this on the new carrier, just on if you're going to retain the old carrier. Anyway, after you get it together, we can start assembling and putting it back in the case. So you grab the case and just simply drop it down in there. Get some of these other parts over here I'm going to be needing.